Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal R&D program, where I said we were going to be launching this today, and we are, but we have a bit of a weight distribution a bit of a weight distribution issue here, in that these are definitely mounted too far back, because take a look at this. So I'm not touching anything, we are purely on SAS, and once we start, like, it's fine-ish throughout this, but the moment we take off, we've got issues. I'm not touching anything. Is that not glorious? I love it. Okay, so like I said, the issue with that is that means that these are putting too much weight too far back. And I can understand that. It's kind of a dumb idea anyway, realistically. But let's go ahead and take a look at this. Yeah, you can see I didn't think this one through, did I? Not in the slightest. So let's take a quick look here at doing something along the lines of this, although we're going to need to be off of snap mode. We're going to need to place this a bit more like this. That'll be better. And I think that means that we can further move these out a little bit so they're clipping in a little less. I mean, they're still clipping in. More like that. I think we can also move this. Okay, that is in mirror. Good. I saw that this was not in mirror symmetry, and I was like, oh boy. But no, it's fine. So, one thing that I was thinking about, there was a comment left about using, like, sideways canards over here or tail fins back here in pitch only mode, and I think that does make a whole lot of sense. So I'm gonna go ahead and do, like, does this have, that's a lifting surface only. This is a control surface. How big is it? Okay, something like that. Based on the way this is laid out right now, I feel like it does make the most sense to have it up here. Now that is going to shift our center of, oop, I did not mean to grab that. I'm just gonna undo that quick. That does shift our center of mass a little bit, so that means that we can move our wings back this way, but I don't like that, actually. I don't like that at all. Maybe we should move these back to, like, here, and then change this from being here to, like, well, we can just get rid of them for now. Honestly, we can place those later on. And then the question becomes, do we actually need all four wheels? I feel like we kind of don't. We'll see. Now, the angle on these is obviously wrong, so let's adjust that to be a bit more like this, and then let's set this to be pitch authority only. Okay. No, I don't want to load a craft. I want to save a craft. Let's see what that does to our weight distribution and our pitch authority. Hopefully it'll do something halfway decent. Okay, I'm going to call that not halfway decent. Why are we tipped over a little bit? We have differing heights on each side. Seems a little strange to me. Both of these should be on the ground. Anyway, let's see how this actually goes in terms of flight. I'm gonna bet poorly. Yeah, you can see that these are not low enough now. That's the issue there. Okay. And yeah, we've still got that issue, but that's progress. So let's go ahead and bring this back to the spaceplane hangar, and then I want to bring these guys inward, because I feel like having that weight out there is just not helpful. So I'm going to use the place tool here, and I'm going to place it basically atop the other engines, although we do want this to be in mirror symmetry. So something kind of like this. Now what does that do to our center of mass and aerodynamic? That is kind of nice. Now I do want to move this guy up a little tiny bit because I think our center of lift was a little bit below our center of mass. That's progress. Now if I bring these guys up here, I think we're still a little bit too... We're a little too high on our center of lift now. So I'm just going to drop that ever so slightly, about like that. And then, of course, we need to make these extenders a little bit longer. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to do something like this. I do not want that there. I want that over here. There we go. Is that too low? I feel like that might be too low. I don't know. Maybe that's right. Let's see. I mean, right-ish would be fine, too. And let's just see what direction it likes to settle. This monstrosity that we've made. And what a monstrosity it is. That actually looks pretty decent. Okay, so those would all fire at the same time after our jet engines get us to altitude. Sounds good. Okay, we are lifting off a little bit. I'm just going to turn SAS completely off. Okay, so we still have a weight distribution issue. That's pretty clear. So let's go ahead and revert this, but overall that was not bad. That's getting close. So let's go ahead and turn on our center of mass and aerodynamic overlay. I'd like to move this forward to be something kind of like this-ish. So that hopefully our center of mass is just a little bit more centralized. And we'll see how that feels. I'm not going to use SAS at all on this launch, because it seemed to be holding us down rather than just holding us stable. Which I guess for liftoff, down kind of is stable, so that makes sense. And off we go. Okay, there we go. Well, that didn't help. Oh, I had SAS on. What am I doing? Revert to launch. I wanted to see what it was like without SAS on. Why did I turn SAS on? I have no idea. Anyway, let's do this. I did it again. SAS is now off. Let's generate ourselves some lift. See if we can pitch a little bit. The answer is no. Makes complete sense. Okay, so let's look at our center of thrust here. It's about there. I feel like we just need to get the positioning of this correct. And then once that happens, then we'll be okay. Of course, we do have this engine being a bit higher, but we're waiting until after these engines are basically off to fire that. I guess we can, for right now, we can turn the thrust limiter on this thing to 0. We can change that in the field, right? Let's check. And also see how this feels. But the idea is the solid fuel boosters get us up to the altitude. Like the jet engines get us... Actually, let's try with firing the nuclear engine at the same time. Should we try firing everything? Yeah, but not this flight. Okay, let's go. We've kind of made a quasi-X-wing here. Okay, we're continuing to pitch. I'm wondering what is going on with these guys here, these winglets. I don't feel like they're actually helping because their default state is like the liftoff, and we aren't able to pitch them like this. I'm going to try taking them off quickly here and see just what that feels like. Because their default state appears to be like full pitch authority, which is very strange to me. And there's like no negative pitch authority there. At least based on the visuals of what it was doing. But I'm pretty sure it's a weight distribution issue. Not, in fact, an authority issue. Because, yeah, see, they were just, by default, in full liftoff. In full liftoff position. Whereas now, I can just put us in liftoff position. Maybe. There we go. Oh, I had SAS on. I keep doing that just out of habit. Okay. I'm now going to go ahead and fire this guy. And off we go. I'm going to turn SAS on for now. Nope, SAS is a bad idea. It would appear. Let's see what happens. We basically lose all control. Excellent. I love it. Okay, I'm gonna ditch these guys as soon as I can. Yep, that seems fine. Of course, because we lost attitude control, we had no real way to get the altitude that we needed. So our max altitude right now is only 2 kilometers, is our apoapsis. We are able to climb reasonably well, though. Like, if we were to just burn, say, like this, we're decelerating, because our thrust to weight is a little on the low side. Now, what is the thrust of these guys? It's decelerating very quickly. Let's go ahead and head back to the spaceplane hangar and take a look at what our jet engine options are, because we're only 5 kilometers up. I feel like we should be able to get an engine that performs better higher up. So this is what we're using right here, the J33. And that is, let's see here, 10500 ASL, 10500 VAC. That's not helpful. Max thrust is 1.2 or 120 kilonewtons at Mach 0. Of course, we could switch over to rocket engines. We could just ditch this whole thing and make a rocket that's essentially designed to do the same thing. But I kind of don't want to. We don't have a lot of options for our jet engines. Let's check what we've got available in the research. We've got this guy, the J404. We don't quite have the science to research it, but it might not be a bad idea. This does have vectoring in it as well. Yeah, I think it's a good idea to target supersonic flight for this. And then maybe like high altitude flight. But for right now, I think targeting this Panther is a good idea. So what do we have to do that? Well, oops, I did not mean to go into the VIB. I meant to go into mission control. Come on. There you go. Well, we can do a couple of missions that would hopefully get us the science we need. Surface deployed mystery goo observation science from the surface of Duna. Yikes. Adjusted orbit of Minmus? I mean, that's not very helpful. Explore Kerbal, ore from the moon. Most of these things are for money. I mean, we could just send a probe to, like, Eve and gather a bunch of science. That might not be an awful idea. But that is a project for next episode. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you all next time.